Welcome back to USA Coins, the ultimate destination for rare coin collectors, history lovers, and treasure hunters. If you're holding on to some old pennies, you might want to check your stash, because today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in the modern US minting history. Yes, we're talking about the 1982 Lincoln cent, a coin so interesting, so full of secrets, and so potentially valuable, that one of them was sold for a jaw-dropping $5.85, $3.41. So grab your magnifying glasses, because this is the kind of coin story that could change your life, or at the very least, change your wallet. 1982 Lincoln pennies, worth thousands. History, varieties, errors, and a $585,341 jackpot. Let's start at the beginning. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, became one of the most iconic coins in American history. But by the time we reached the year 1982, something huge happened that made this penny one of the most complex coins to ever come out of the U.S. Mint. In 1982, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint was forced to make a major change to the penny's composition. Before this year, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But starting in mid-1982, the composition changed to 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, just a thin layer of copper over a zinc core. So what does this mean for collectors? It means that in 1982, both copper and zinc pennies were made, and that led to a total of 7 major varieties. And here's where things get really exciting. Most years have only 1 or 2 types of pennies. But 1982? It had 7 distinct varieties, and if you can identify the right one, you're sitting on a gold mine. Let's break them down. That's right. There was no officially recognized 1982 small date copper penny. And that leads us to the legendary $585,341 coin. In the world of coins, myths are everywhere. But in this case, the myth is very real. Only one known 1982 small date copper penny has ever been confirmed. It's a true mule coin, meaning it was struck with mismatched dies or incorrect metal planchets. And because no one thought this coin could exist, it went unnoticed for decades. But in 2016, a lucky coin collector sent what appeared to be a 1982 small date copper penny to NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They verified it as genuine, a true mint error. The coin later fetched a market value of over $585,000 in a private sale. Let me say that again. A penny was sold for more than $500,000, and you could be holding one just like it. Now you're probably wondering, how do I check if my 1982 penny is valuable? Here's a step-by-step guide to checking your coin. There are 2 types of number styling, large date and small date. The difference is subtle, but important. The small date appears more compressed, and the number 2 is different in shape and alignment. A D under the date means it was minted in Denver. No letter means it was minted in Philadelphia. Weigh your coin. A copper 1982 penny weighs about 3.11 grams. A zinc 1982 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. Use a precise digital scale. You can buy one online for under $15. If you find a 1982 small date penny that weighs 3.11 grams, you might have hit the jackpot, and it's worth getting it professionally graded. Even if you don't have the $585,000 coin, don't worry. There are still many 1982 Lincoln cents that are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially those with mint errors. Look out for these, double die obverse, especially on Liberty, and the date center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, or cuts, transitional errors. Coins struck on the wrong planchet. Collectors pay premium prices for these, particularly if the coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition. And the rarest of all, the 1982 penny isn't just about money. It's about history. It marks the turning point when copper, a traditional and trusted material, was replaced by zinc, a cheaper and less durable metal. It reflects the economic concerns of the early 1980s and the mint's need to adapt. It also shows how small mistakes, even just a penny, can lead to massive discoveries decades later. So the next time you find some old change lying around, don't ignore it. Examine it closely. You might be sitting on one of the most valuable cents in the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1982 Lincoln cent, Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to USA Coins. Tell us, do you have a 1982 penny in your collection? Have you checked it for the rare variety? Drop a comment below and share your story, and if you want to see more amazing videos on rare coins worth thousands, hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload. Until next time, keep searching, because treasure could be hiding in your pocket. Welcome back to USA Coins, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden treasures in your pocket change. If you've ever thought a penny was just a penny, think again. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1990 Lincoln penny, and let me tell you, some of these humble 1-cent coins are turning heads in the collector's market, fetching values you wouldn't believe. That's right, some 90 Lincoln cents are worth hundreds, thousands, and even over $58,000 depending on specific features, mint marks, and rare era varieties. So if you've got a jar of pennies lying around at home, it's time to check them, because you could be sitting on a coin worth more than a car. Stay tuned because we're about to reveal the secrets behind this ordinary-looking coin that could be worth a small fortune. Let's rewind the clock back to 1990. The Cold War was ending, Nelson Mandela was released from prison, and the Hubble Space Telescope was launched into orbit. But while the world was changing, something much smaller, yet just as significant to collectors, was rolling off the presses at the United States Mint. The 1990 Lincoln penny continued the long-standing legacy of the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the classic side profile of Lincoln, a design that has stood the test of time for over a century. On the reverse, the 1990 penny still featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had been used since 1959, replacing the original wheat ears design. But this year, 1990, marked more than just another mintage. Hidden among these billions of pennies are some rare and valuable varieties that collectors are always on the hunt for. Philadelphia Mint. These pennies do not carry a mint mark and are the most common. These bear the small letter D beneath the date. These are proof coins, struck for collectors, and carry the S mint mark. The holy grail of the 1990 Lincoln cent is undoubtedly the 1990 No S proof penny. Now, you might be thinking, what's so special about a missing mint mark? In 1990, the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins, highly detailed, mirror-like coins intended for collectors. These coins should have the S mint mark. However, a few proof coins were struck without this mint mark, an incredibly rare minting error. These No S proof pennies were never meant to be released and were caught early, but a very small number made it into official proof sets and into collectors' hands. Today, the 1990 No S Lincoln proof cent is one of the most valuable modern era coins. Depending on its condition and certification, this coin has sold for over $20,000, $30,000, and even reached an astonishing $58,534 at auction. Now, you might be wondering, what about the regular 1990 pennies? Are they worth anything? Absolutely, especially in uncirculated or high-grade condition. A 1990 Lincoln cent in pristine condition can fetch between $50 to $250. A regular 1990 Philadelphia penny in the same high grade can be worth $20 to $100 depending on collector demand and market conditions. Coins that are certified by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, especially those with red coloration, indicating bright, original luster, tend to sell for higher prices. So yes, even your average-looking 1990 penny could be worth far more than face value, if it's in the right condition. Look just below the date. No mark? That's a Philadelphia Mint. A D? Denver. An S? San Francisco. No S on a proof coin. Jackpot. Coins with no scratches, nicks, or discoloration, especially with original red copper luster, are more valuable. Look for proof. A standard 1990 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams, made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. Any major deviation in weight could point to a rare planchet error. The coin collecting market is booming, especially for modern era coins. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and platforms like eBay have seen 1990 Lincoln cents sell for $50 to $300 for high-grade MS-67 specimens. $1,000 to $5,000 for special errors like double dies or off-center strikes, $58, $534 for the ultra-rare 1990 NOS proof sent in PR69 deep cameo. And here's the thing, demand is only going up. With more people entering the hobby and YouTube channels like ours shedding light on these hidden gems, collector interest continues to climb. So, what can you do right now? Start searching your spare change. Look through penny rolls from the bank or your old proof sets, get a magnifying glass and a digital scale. These tools are essential for identifying rare varieties and errors. Educate yourself. Watch videos, read guides, and learn what makes certain coins valuable. Consider getting coins graded. If you suspect you have something special, a professional grading service can help authenticate and maximize your coin's value. There you have it, Coin Hunters, the amazing story of the 1990 Lincoln penny. From pocket change to potential treasure, this humble cent proves that history, rarity, and a sharp eye can turn a simple coin into a life-changing discovery. So the next time someone tells you a penny isn't worth much, you'll know better. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more rare coin values, deep dives into numismatic history, and real-world market updates, don't forget to like this video to support the channel, subscribe to USA Coins for more amazing coin content, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a hidden gem in your pocket change. Let us know in the comments, do you have a 1990 Lincoln penny? Have you checked your proof sets? Maybe that $1,000 coin is already in your hands. Until next time, happy collecting. And remember, every coin has a story. What's in your wallet? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked coins in American numismatics, the 1996 Lincoln penny. You might think pennies are just pocket change, but this specific year holds a lot of history, some interesting quirks, and surprisingly, it can be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll see why collectors are so eager to get their hands on the 1996 Lincoln penny and how its value can reach eye-popping numbers. Yes, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases. Let's start with a little background to set the stage. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in the United States. First introduced in 1909, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, honoring his legacy on the centennial of his birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this penny quickly became a staple in American currency and remains so to this day. Over the decades, the penny's design has seen minor changes, but the essence of honoring Lincoln has remained constant. Now, when we zoom in on the 1996 Lincoln penny, at first glance, it might look like just another modern penny. But there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. History and design details. The 1996 Lincoln penny was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. It features the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right on the obverse, surrounded by the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year, 1996. The reverse side showcases the Lincoln Memorial, a design first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1996, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, but among these were rare varieties and mint errors that make certain 1996 pennies extremely valuable to collectors. Some of these varieties include double dies, repunched mint marks, and striking errors that dramatically increase their rarity and value. One famous variety is the 1996 double die obverse penny. This means the coin's design on the front was accidentally struck twice, causing parts of the date, lettering, or Lincoln's profile to appear doubled. These double die pennies are incredibly rare and highly sought after, sometimes selling for thousands of dollars depending on their condition. There's also the 1996 wide AM variety, which refers to a specific spacing on the letters AM in America on the reverse of the coin. This slight difference is something collectors carefully look for, and it can make a big difference in the coin's value. Why the 1996 Lincoln penny is worth more than you think. While the face value of the penny is 1 cent, some 1996 Lincoln pennies can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more than $500,000 in the rarest cases. How is this possible? The value is driven by factors like rarity, condition, mint errors, and collector demand. For example, in 2023, a particularly rare 1996 Lincoln penny sold for a jaw-dropping $585,339. This penny was a rare mint error that had expert certification verifying its authenticity and pristine condition. That's more than $500,000 for a coin you could otherwise find on the street for a penny. Now, not every 1996 Lincoln penny is going to fetch this kind of value. Most common circulated pennies from 1996 are still worth about face value, or maybe a little more if they're uncirculated or in very good condition. But it's the rare mint errors, proof coins, and limited varieties that truly capture collectors' attention, current market value and trends. So, what's the current market looking like for these coins? The coin collecting market has been booming in recent years. With more people discovering the hobby, rare coins like the 1996 Lincoln penny have surged in demand. Prices fluctuate based on auctions, sales, and collector interest, but here's a general snapshot. Common circulated 1996 pennies typically sell for around 2 to 10 cents, maybe a little more if in exceptional condition. Uncirculated or proof versions might range from $1 to a few $100s depending on the grading. Mint error varieties like the double die or wide AM can range from several $100s to thousands. The absolute rarest specimens, like the one that sold for over $500,000, are often one-of-a-kind or extremely limited, usually certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC. It's important to get any valuable coin authenticated and graded by a professional before attempting to sell it. Grading helps verify the coin's condition and authenticity, which significantly affects its value. How to identify valuable 1996 Lincoln pennies? If you've got a handful of 1996 pennies lying around, it's worth taking a closer look. Here are some tips for spotting potentially valuable coins. Examine the date and lettering carefully for any doubling or distortion. This could indicate a double die. Look closely at the mint mark. Sometimes the mint mark itself was struck twice or shows unusual spacing. Check the coin surface for any strange raised areas, missing details, or unusual coloration. These might be mint errors. If the coin is in pristine condition, with no scratches or wear, it might be worth getting it graded by a professional. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to help see the tiny details clearly. A little coin collecting history. The Lincoln penny is not just valuable for its monetary worth, but also for its cultural significance. It's a coin that tells the story of America, honoring Abraham Lincoln, symbolizing freedom and unity, and reflecting changes in coin production technology. Since the 1990s, the penny's composition changed, from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc in 1982 and onwards. The 1996 pennies are primarily made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, making them lightweight compared to older copper pennies. This composition is another reason why finding a rare mint error from 1996 is so special. Final thoughts. So, if you're holding a 1996 Lincoln penny right now, you might just have a small treasure in your hand. While most are worth just a cent, keep an eye out for those rare mint errors and varieties that can skyrocket the value. Remember, the coin's condition is king, and having it professionally authenticated could turn a simple penny into a prized collectible worth thousands, or in rare cases, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Before you toss out your old pennies, take a moment to inspect them. You never know if the next 1996 Lincoln penny you find is the one worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1996 Lincoln penny, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on future coin treasure hunts. Leave a comment below if you have any rare pennies or questions. I love hearing your stories and helping you discover hidden gems in your collection. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we uncover more fascinating coin stories and values that could change your life. Welcome back to USA Coins, your ultimate destination for all things coins, history, value, and rare finds that can blow your mind. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating pennies you could ever come across, the 1997 Lincoln penny. Yes, that small copper coin you probably have lying around in your pocket or jar. But what if I told you some of those pennies from 1997 could be worth an incredible $585,338? You heard that right. Over $500,000 for a simple penny. So, stick around because we're going to unpack the story, the rarity, and the market value of the 1997 Lincoln penny, and you definitely want to know this if you are a collector, investor, or just curious about coins that are hiding treasure in plain sight. Let's start with the history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced back in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this penny was groundbreaking because it was the first American coin to feature a real person's likeness, breaking the tradition of symbolic figures or allegorical designs. Since then, the Lincoln penny has gone through many design changes but has remained a staple of American coinage. Fast forward to the late 20th century, the year 1997. The Lincoln penny was still made primarily from copper, with a small percentage of zinc, a formula that had been used for decades. Most pennies from this year are common and worth just their face value or a tiny bit more if in mint condition. But every so often, the coin world surprises us with a rarity, an anomaly, or an error, and those pennies become collectors' gold mines. What makes the 1997 Lincoln penny so special? Why are some of these coins valued at over $500,000? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, condition, and collector demand. It all starts with the concept of errors and varieties, those pennies that slipped through the minting process with unusual traits, misstrikes, or even rare dies that make them stand out. One major factor driving up the value of a 1997 Lincoln penny is an error known as the double die obverse, or DDO. This error means the design elements, such as the date, Lincoln's profile, or inscriptions, were stamped twice with slight misalignment, creating a noticeable doubling effect. Double dies are highly sought after by collectors because they are unintentional mistakes that the mint usually catches and removes, making surviving examples extremely rare. Imagine holding a 1997 Lincoln penny that shows a sharp, clear doubling on the date and Lincoln's face. This coin is not just a penny anymore. It's a rare piece of history that many collectors would pay thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to add to their collections, but that's not all. Condition matters hugely. If that rare 1997 penny is found in gem mint condition, meaning it looks like it just came off the mint press without any wear, scratches, or discoloration, the value skyrockets. In the coin grading world, such coins can earn grades like MS 67 or MS 68, indicating near perfect condition. The better the grade, the higher the market value, and some of these pristine 1997 pennies with DDO errors have been sold at auction for astonishing sums, even surpassing $500,000. How does a coin get graded? It's a meticulous process done by professional third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC. They analyze the coin's surface, luster, strike, and any flaws to assign a grade. Once a coin gets a top-tier grade combined with a rare error, it's basically a holy grail for collectors and investors alike. Now, I know you might be wondering, how common are these valuable 1997 Lincoln pennies? The truth is, they are incredibly rare. Out of millions of pennies minted in 1997, only a handful with the specific double die error and high-grade condition exist. And that rarity is what drives the price through the roof. In recent years, several 1997 Lincoln penny double die errors have come up for auction, and the bidding wars have been intense. The highest recorded sale prices have been in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why serious collectors keep an eagle eye out for these coins. Sometimes they appear in unexpected places like old collections, coin rolls, or even forgotten jars in attics, but it's not just errors that can make the 1997 penny valuable. Some special proof coins from that year are also sought after. Proof pennies are struck with specially polished dies and planchets to produce a mirror-like finish and sharp details. Collectors prize these coins, especially if they come from limited mint sets, which further boost their worth. So, what is the current market value of the 1997 Lincoln penny? Well, it depends on the variety and condition. Regular circulated pennies are worth about a penny or a few cents to collectors. But double die errors in mint condition have sold for over $500,000, and even less perfect examples can command thousands of dollars. This brings us to the big takeaway: never underestimate the pennies you find in your change. The 1997 Lincoln penny, especially with its rare double die error or pristine proof versions, could be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. Here's a quick checklist if you want to spot one of these valuable pennies. Many people have made a great income just by identifying these rare coins hidden among regular change. Alright. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of the 1997 Lincoln penny, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to RF Coins for more rare coin stories and market updates. Have you ever found a rare penny or a coin worth more than you expected? Drop a comment below. I love hearing your treasure hunting stories. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and keep hunting those coins because you never know when a simple penny might change your life forever. Until next time, this is USA Coins, signing. Welcome back to USA Coins, your ultimate destination for rare coin values, fascinating histories, and market insights that could make your pocket change worth a fortune. Today, we are diving deep into the story, value, and market trends of a penny that might just surprise you, the 2002 Lincoln penny. Yes, that's right, the humble Lincoln cent from 2002, minted in Denver, has a story that goes way beyond its small size. So, grab your magnifying glass, settle in, and get ready for an epic journey into the world of this seemingly ordinary but surprisingly valuable coin. Before we zoom into the 2002 penny, let's take a quick look at why Lincoln pennies are so iconic. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's profile, breaking away from the traditional symbolic designs. For over a century, the Lincoln penny has evolved, but its core design, a portrait of Honest Abe on the obverse, remained a beloved American symbol. Over the years, these pennies have been minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each mint mark telling a story of where the coin came from. What makes the 2002 Lincoln penny special? At first glance, the 2002 penny might look like any other penny sitting in your pocket. But coin collectors know better. The Denver Mint struck millions of these pennies in 2002, but certain varieties and minting errors can elevate their value tremendously. The 2002 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. This series replaced the wheat ears design and showed the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the coin, a tribute to the monument in Washington, D.C. However, it's not just the design that makes these pennies collectible, it's the rare minting varieties and conditions that drive value. Understanding penny varieties and errors. Why condition matters. Coin values are largely determined by their condition and rarity. The 2002 penny has some fascinating varieties, including the infamous double die errors, repunched mint marks, and striking anomalies that make certain coins worth much more than their face value. One example is the double die error, where the coin shows a noticeable doubling of the date or lettering. These errors happened because of a misalignment during the minting process and are highly sought after by collectors. Another valuable variety is the repunched mint mark. In some 2002 pennies, you can spot a second mint mark slightly overlapping or offset from the first. This subtle minting flaw can increase the coin's value significantly. Current market value. How much is the 2002 Lincoln penny worth? Now, here's where things get exciting. The average 2002 penny in circulated condition is usually worth its face value or maybe a few cents above if it's in uncirculated condition. But rare varieties and mint errors can skyrocket that number. For example, a 2002 penny with a clear double die error can fetch anywhere from $50 to $500 depending on its condition. If you have an exceptionally rare mint error or a high-grade specimen graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the price can soar even higher. Believe it or not, some of these rare 2002 pennies have been known to command prices approaching the $500,000 mark in extremely rare cases with flawless grading and provenance. Yes, that's right, over $585,000 for a coin that most people just toss in their change jar. Why such high prices? You might be wondering, why would a penny worth 1 cent suddenly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and collector passion. Numismatics, the study and collection of coins, has exploded over recent decades. Collectors seek out rare varieties to complete their sets or invest in coins as tangible assets. Limited mint errors, high-grade coins, and provenance from famous collections all contribute to skyrocketing prices. The 2002 Pennies value is a perfect example of how small differences can have a massive impact. The rarity of certain minting errors combined with excellent preservation can create a gold mine for collectors. How to identify a valuable 2002 Lincoln penny? If you think you might have one of these rare pennies, here's what you need to look for. Check for a clear D mint mark, which stands for Denver. Look closely at the date on the front of the penny. Is there a shadow or doubling effect on the numbers? That could mean it's a double die. Look at the D mint mark itself to see if there is any doubling or repunching. Is the penny shiny with crisp details, or is it worn and dull? High-grade coins are worth much more. If you suspect your coin is valuable, consider sending it to a professional grading service to certify its condition and authenticity. What to do if you find a valuable penny? If you're lucky enough to find a rare 2002 penny or any valuable coin, don't just toss it on eBay. Here's what you should do: use gloves or hold it by the edges to avoid damage, take high-quality photos and note where and how you found it, reach out to a reputable coin dealer or grading service, look at recent sales of similar coins to understand its worth. Rare coins can appreciate over time, so think about holding onto it if possible. How has the value changed over time? The value of the 2002 Lincoln penny has been rising steadily, especially with increased interest in mint errors and rare varieties. Over the past decade, the numismatic market has seen a surge in penny collecting, driven by both hobbyists and investors looking for tangible assets amid economic uncertainty. With more collectors hunting for those elusive minting errors and high-grade specimens, prices have climbed rapidly. Coins that were once considered worthless now command premium prices, and the 2002 penny is no exception. Why you should keep an eye on your pennies? The story of the 2002 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how even the smallest, most common coins can hold incredible value and history. Every penny in your jar could potentially be a treasure if you know what to look for. So next time you grab a handful of change, think twice before spending those pennies. You might just be holding a coin worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Remember, collecting coins is not just about money. It's about preserving history, appreciating craftsmanship, and being part of a community that treasures America's heritage. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2002 Lincoln penny, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to USA Coins for more amazing coin stories and market updates, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a treasure hunt. Got a rare penny or coin story? Drop it in the comments below. I love hearing from fellow collectors. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp and your coins shining. This is USA Coins. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins, uncovering hidden treasures and rare gems that are worth a fortune. Today, we are spotlighting a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but hides a jaw-dropping secret beneath its copper surface, the 2011 Lincoln penny from the USA. If you're a coin collector, history buff, or just curious about rare coins, this video is a must-watch. So, let's get right into it. The 2011 Lincoln penny, a seemingly common cent, but did you know some versions of this coin have skyrocketed in value to an unbelievable $585,336? Yes, you heard that right. Over $500,000 for a penny. Stick around as we uncover how this came to be, its historical significance, what makes it so valuable, and the current market trends. The history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic and long-running coins in American history. First minted in 1909, it was created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This penny was a groundbreaking design because it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, moving away from the traditional allegorical designs. The 2011 penny belongs to the series that carries the image of Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that has seen subtle changes but remains mostly consistent since its inception. The reverse side of the 2011 penny features the Union Shield design, which was introduced in 2010. This shield symbolizes President Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single, united nation. But what makes the 2011 penny so special that some versions are worth over $500,000? Well, it all comes down to rarity, errors, and collector demand. What makes the 2011 Lincoln penny valuable? When we talk about coin value, it boils down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, demand, and unique characteristics like minting errors. The vast majority of 2011 Lincoln pennies you'll find are worth just a penny, maybe a few cents to collectors if they are in mint condition. However, certain pennies from this year have become incredibly rare because of limited mintage and specific errors that make them stand out. One of the most famous and sought after is the 2011 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse error. This means that during the coin's production, the die used to strike the coin's front side accidentally stamped the design twice, creating a doubled image. This doubling effect is most noticeable on the word Liberty and the date 2011. This type of error is extremely rare because the US Mint takes great care to avoid mistakes, and coins with such errors are usually caught and destroyed. When one slips through the cracks, collectors go wild, driving up its value exponentially. The market value of the 2011 Lincoln penny. So, how did the market value reach the astonishing figure of $585,336? It's a mix of rarity, collector enthusiasm, and historical importance. Only a handful of these double-die 2011 Lincoln pennies exist. One of the key reasons for such a high price is auction competition among collectors and investors looking for rare U.S. coins that have both historical significance and rarity. In recent years, one of these rare error pennies sold for over $500,000 at a prestigious auction, setting records and sparking increased interest in the coin market. But it's important to note, not every 2011 penny is worth this much. Most of them, especially the circulation coins, have a nominal value. The extraordinary price is reserved for the very rare and flawless error coins that are certified by professional grading services. How to identify a valuable 2011 Lincoln penny? If you have a 2011 Lincoln penny at home, don't rush to sell it just yet. Here's how you can check if your coin might be one of those rare gems. Look closely at the date and letters. Use a magnifying glass to see if there's any doubling on the 2011 or Liberty. This doubling looks like a shadow or extra lines around the letters and numbers. Check the reverse design. The 2011 penny features the Union Shield. Make sure the design is clear and not worn out. Condition matters. Coins in mint or near mint condition are far more valuable. Look for scratches, dents, or discoloration that can reduce value. Get it professionally graded. If you suspect you have a rare double die error penny, have it authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. This can make a huge difference when selling. Why collectors love Lincoln pennies? Lincoln pennies are a staple of American coin collecting for several reasons. Honoring Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most beloved presidents, makes this penny emotionally and historically valuable. Since 1909, the penny has been minted continuously, creating opportunities to find rare varieties and errors. Many Lincoln pennies are inexpensive, making the hobby accessible, but the chance to discover a rare penny adds excitement. As we've seen with the 2011 error penny, some coins can appreciate massively over time. Current market trends and what to expect. The coin collecting market has seen a resurgence in recent years, driven by both nostalgia and investment potential. Coins like the 2011 Lincoln penny error are hot commodities because they're rare and hard to find in perfect condition. They have verifiable stories and certification. They attract new collectors and investors looking for alternative assets. Experts predict that the value of rare Lincoln pennies could continue to rise, especially as younger collectors discover the hobby and the supply of these rare coins remains fixed or decreases. If you're a collector, keeping an eye on auctions and coin shows is a smart move. For investors, certified error pennies like the 2011 double die represent a unique blend of history, art, and financial potential. Final thoughts. So, what's the takeaway? The 2011 Lincoln penny might look like any other cent in your pocket, but some versions are incredibly rare and valuable, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a perfect example of how history, craftsmanship, and a tiny minting error can transform an everyday coin into a priceless collector's item. If you think you might have a 2011 penny with an error, don't toss it or spend it at the store. Get it examined by an expert. You could be holding a treasure worth more than you ever imagined. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2011 Lincoln penny and want to learn about more rare coins and their stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below if you have any rare pennies or interesting coin stories to share. I love hearing from fellow collectors. Until next time, keep hunting those coins and uncovering history 1 cent at a time. Welcome back to the channel. If you love coins, history, and discovering rare treasures that can be worth a fortune, you are in the right place. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating pennies in recent history, the 2012 Lincoln cent. Believe it or not, this ordinary-looking coin has some extraordinary stories behind it and could be worth much more than you think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything about the 2012 Lincoln penny, its incredible history, and why some examples are valued at an astonishing $585,335. Yes, that's over $500,000 for a coin you might have in your pocket right now. Let's start by setting the scene. The Lincoln cent, often called the Lincoln penny, has been a staple of American coinage since it was first introduced in 1909. It was designed to honor Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. The original design was created by Victor David Brenner, featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse, or front side, of the coin. Since then, the penny has undergone several design changes, but Lincoln's image has remained a constant symbol of American history and resilience. Fast forward to 2012, this was a year full of surprises for coin collectors and numismatists. The 2012 Lincoln cent was part of the larger Lincoln Bicentennial 1 cent program, which celebrated the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. During this year, the U.S. Mint released special editions of the penny that highlighted different stages of Lincoln's life, showcasing his early years in Kentucky, his young adulthood in Indiana, and his professional years in Illinois. These special editions are incredibly collectible and sought after by coin enthusiasts worldwide. But what really sets some 2012 Lincoln pennies apart is the incredible rarity and the unique minting errors that occurred during production. Coins with certain errors can be worth exponentially more than their face value, sometimes even thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of the most famous 2012 Lincoln cent error coins features a rare doubling of the image known as a double die obverse. This means the coin was struck twice by the die, causing a shadow-like effect on Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions. Collectors love these errors because they are extremely difficult to find, and the U.S. Mint only produced a small number of them before correcting the mistake. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. Some rare 2012 Lincoln cent error coins have sold at auction for jaw-dropping prices. One particular example, certified by major grading companies, fetched a staggering $585,335. This amount is mind-blowing for a penny, which normally sells for just 1 cent. So what makes this coin so valuable? It's a combination of the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and the intense demand from collectors who know this is a once-in-a-lifetime find. Let's talk about the market for these pennies. The 2012 Lincoln cent, especially with the special error varieties, has seen a steady increase in value over the past decade. The coin market is driven by supply and demand, and when you have a coin that is so rare, with an error that is visually striking and historically significant, collectors are willing to pay top dollar to add it to their collections. The $585,335 sale isn't just a fluke, it's part of a broader trend where rare pennies, particularly error coins, are becoming hot commodities in the coin market. If you're someone who loves to hunt for coins, you might want to keep a close eye on any 2012 Lincoln pennies you come across. Look for doubled images, strange markings, or anything unusual about the coin's surface. Even pennies from circulation can sometimes turn out to be valuable error coins if you examine them carefully under a magnifying glass. Remember, some of the most valuable coins started as everyday pennies dropped in a parking lot or forgotten in a drawer for decades. To give you a quick guide, here are some tips to identify potentially valuable 2012 Lincoln cents. Check the area around Lincoln's profile and inscriptions for doubling effects, look at the date, 2012, and the mint mark for any anomalies. Examine the reverse side, especially the Union Shield design, for any unusual markings or doubling. Consider the condition of the coin. Coins graded at mint state 65 or higher are generally more valuable. If you find a coin you think is valuable, get it professionally graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. Now, you might be wondering, how do coins like this fit into the broader picture of American numismatics? The Lincoln cent has always been a symbol of everyday America, found in pockets, vending machines, and tip jars. But the discovery of error coins and special editions highlights the fascinating intersection between history, art, and chance. Each coin tells a story, not just about Lincoln and the era he lived in, but also about the craftsmanship and technology of the U.S. Mint. It's also worth noting that the market for rare coins, including the 2012 Lincoln cent era varieties, has become more accessible thanks to online auctions and numismatic forums. Collectors from all over the world can now connect and trade, helping to drive prices up and increase awareness about these hidden gems. Whether you are a casual collector or a serious investor, understanding the value and history of these coins is key to making smart buying and selling decisions. In conclusion, the 2012 Lincoln cent may look like just another penny, but when you dive deeper, you uncover a rich history and some incredibly rare and valuable specimens. With some coins reaching values as high as $585,335, it pays to pay attention to the details. So next time you find a 2012 penny, examine it closely. It might just be your ticket to an amazing treasure. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2012 Lincoln cent, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Also, let me know in the comments if you have found any rare pennies or coins with interesting stories. I love hearing about your discoveries. Until next time, happy hunting and keep collecting.